one end, you've kind of got your traditional broker model. At the other end, you've got your investment banks. Maybe just a quick rundown for people as to what the differences are, what you get for one, what you don't get for another.
Yeah, it's, I guess to your point, there's extremes. So at the one extreme, you have your business broker model, and that's really, high volume, low touch points. We always say spray and pray. A lot of these types of brokers will have literally brochures of businesses that are potentially for sale. We come across them every now and again. And, for the business owner, whether you've got a 5 million rand business or a 500 million rand business, that's your life. And these things get thrown out there. So, confidentiality and process is often a challenge. The driver often with brokers as well is they've got a business to run. So it's working generally on risk only. And that's to, generate fees as quickly as possible. So you've got a very, low probability of success in those areas. And in most cases, it's a cookie cutter approach, one size fits all. So that's, and obviously there's different degrees from that perspective. A lot of them are also only locally focused. They don't necessarily have the right types of international networks and those things. Then on the other side, you have the investment banks, as well as the big four corporate finance consultants. And that's probably the other side where there's potentially a lot more theoretical work that is done, a lot more financially focused. So almost focusing on the deal without kind of getting the right fits and the right type of strategic partners. Again, although there would be a potential grouping of buyers, in many cases, it's always the usual suspects that get approached. And generally, they follow a formula that's, is pretty set in most situations. And again, their real value is, they believe, is in the funding, in the structuring, almost making it overly complex, but heavily ignoring the people element. So we like to think we sit somewhere in between, but I think, you've got the two extremes, and that in many cases has jaded business owners' perceptions and views and experience. And it makes it a lot more difficult to try and get a successful deal out of them.
Yeah, I know we've, that business that we recently, I suppose, signed up end of last year was an interesting case where they had approached one of the sort of big four. And I mean, this is a business doing over 100 million of EBITDA, so pretty solid, meaty business. And they were almost brushed aside as, yeah, you're worth about X. If that's enough, we'll take you to market. If not, then rather build your business and, sell it another time. And I think that there's that kind of rushing to the value rather than thinking about the process and how you're to market this thing. Because as we keep saying, your businesses, the businesses needs to be valued as in the hands of the acquirer, not just in your hands. So there's no generic number. That's the value of the business. That's a guideline. The buyer their risk will be adjusted based on what value they can bring.
Absolutely.
And that's why this marketing process is so important. And yet, it still seems at both ends of the spectrum, you've still got fairly simple approaches to valuation. And it's all driven by the valuation rather than driven by the marketing process of finally getting to a value which might well be higher than what you were expecting.
Absolutely.
But those books of opportunities that some of the sort of broker end guys send out, I would hate that, to know that my business is probably highly identifiable in a book of opportunities and just getting lost among the rest. I really think that the matchmaking kind of approach that we take is critical to finding the right buyer and knowing that the business is going to be in the right hands. And I think also, what we've seen a lot of, and this is where people trying to do it on their own don't get it, is that we've built a reputation for bringing excellent businesses to market. If you've got an excellent business, you've got to go with the right people, because immediately we're creating value just by the fact that they came through someone like Deal Leaders. So it's a critical part of it. And I think since we've been tougher and tougher on only taking quality businesses to market, our reputation for value and creating value and getting the attention of the good acquirers has just been moving kind of from strength to strength.
It's a good point you make there, Rick. I think that although we only ever represent the seller commercially, the quality of buyer in your network is critical. So, you may have the most amazing business, but if you're working with an advisor, broker, or whatever it may be, who doesn't have that network, that won't get quality assets in front of quality buyers, it's a real hindrance to you. So you could be doing all the right things, but because of a weak network or a weak business model or weak individuals, whatever it may be, it's actually going to count against you in the process. And, you may get some interest, but it's kind of out of lack of options. You don't know what you don't know. And it's important to be in an environment where your eyes can be opened up to, wow, this is what A-grade buyers look like. And we believe that, and we're fortunate enough to have worked heavily on those networks.